Hello everyone, I'm going to go through how you can set up your own devices UI for Kontakt instrument. It could be for any plugin or instrument, but I'm going to take native instruments Kontakt as an example because many people use Kontakt, and it's quite handy to be able to make a custom UI to use the different libraries. So first we're gonna look here. I have the 5.2 version of my TouchOSC template. Devices are located here, as you can see, the root document tree, then in track view, and then devices UI. This track view, because it's inside the tracks page or returns or master page, where you can see devices when you enter the track view here. When in track view you have the red inside the preference button. And so if I add a device in Ableton Live, let's take an audio effect. It automatically loads device UI. So there's this little button here where you can use to know the information about which device it is and which skin, it's called skin in the application, has been loaded. And also it lists all the parameters available that Ableton broadcast to all the other application. So we can see the cabinet device has 6 parameters. The parameter 0 is always device on off, this one. And then 1, 2, 3. This is cabinet parameters for Ableton. And you can see there the skin group that has been loaded is Ableton generic. So it's a generic UI that gets loaded when the application doesn't find any custom UI listed here. So I did not make a cabinet UI for now, but there's, if I load a compressor, for example, I made a UI for the compressor. So you can click this button again, then you see all the compressor parameters, and you can see that the skin is not generic now, it's the compressor skin. So I'm gonna remove those here. So it's the same for instruments. So let's go to Kontakt and load a Kontakt, a blank Kontakt instance. And we can see in Ableton Live that there is no default parameters mapping when you load Kontakt for the first time, I guess. And if you click configure here, you cannot do anything. You cannot add things. We can see in Kontakt here, libraries, files, monitor, and there's an automation tab. with host automation and MIDI automation. What we are interested about is the host automation, because it corresponds to what you see here. It says to automate control, drag a slot to it. That's when the maker of the library did not program it in the first place. Then you can map it yourself by dragging a control here to a slot. But usually it's already assigned. When you load a library, you will see automation controls assigned here. So for example, I'm going to libraries, and we're going to take a drum library, the 50s one. So if I load the kit here and go back to automation, we can see there's all those automation available inside for this particular library or patch. We can see host parameter 0 is kick volume, then kick pan, kick verb, kick solo, kick mute. Then it goes to snare. This corresponds to the mixer tab here. So this is, and you can see the little red thing here. This is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes to snare 5, 6, and we can see in the app it has loaded something, because there's no parameters except for the last one we moved apparently. Kick just sends the information. Okay, Ableton does that. But what we can do, as you can see, there is still no parameters here. What we can do is store a configuration for Kontakt. And what is the best, I think, to do is to store with all the parameters in order from 0 to whatever you want. For now, in the TouchOSC template, you can go up to 120 parameters when you want to control by MIDI control change. So we can go up to 120. We're not gonna do that now. It's gonna be a little bit too much time. So, but what we are gonna do is make a few as an example. So I can click configure here, and then with a patch open, a library open, I can go through all the parameters in order. Kick volume, so then kick pan, send, solo, mute, then snare, volume, pan, send, solo, mute. After the snare is hi-hat, volume, pan, send, solo, mute, tom, pan, send, solo, mute, and then you can go on and on to have your default Kontakt configuration. Send, solo, mute, pan, send, solo, mute, pan, here, Okay, we're gonna stop here for now. So here we can see we have all those parameters. We can exit the configure setup, and now when we move the kick, we can see here that it's also moving in the parameters window, and they've been added there also in TouchOSC up to 45 for now, and with all the name. So what we want to do now is save this the Kontakt configuration as default, because as we saw when we first loaded the Kontakt, this window was empty. There was no configuration. So I'm gonna right click and save as default configuration. So now I can delete the Kontakt plugin, and when I bring it back again, you can see there's no libraries loaded, no patch, so not assigned for all the parameters. But when we open the window, we can see it has kept all the default assignments, and instead of parameter names, it's parameter number, so we can check that we did not made any mistake. Here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 44. And if we load back our library, drum library, we can see that it automatically added here the setup we made. Whatever parameters is assigned in the library will be reflected here and reflected in the TouchOSC app there. And we can already control the kick volume here, snare volume, solo, mute, etc., etc. But it's nice to have that it's automatic, and you have the generic Ableton generic UI here, but it's not really practical because the pan is like this. A solo is a fader still. It's not really useful. So what we can do is when a certain Kontakt patch is loaded, we can choose which UI will be loaded inside TouchOSC. As an example, what if we load another library here? Let's see. No, do not save. It goes back to default parameter numbers. So let's load another library. Maybe action strings. We go back to automation, and we see a few parameters already assigned here. And those parameters are assigned there because the configuration was already loaded. And we can see here the boost, reverb. So let's go back to our drum library. Here. So what we're gonna do here is create a new UI to display this drum patch for native instruments. I'm gonna go to the devices UI group here and just copy the compressor one, move it up above param menu, go inside, and then I'm gonna delete everything except the background and the bar resize, what is common to every device UI. So you still have here in the script the resize script. So when you hit the resize button here, it will go full screen or not. As you can see, it's not here. You have parent name, plugin name, and class name. Where there is not parent name in every device or the devices, but if it's not present, you can just add one and rename it to parent name. I will explain how it is useful. So I have a new device UI here. I can go and rename it. Let's say drums. Then I'm gonna leave this for now. Plugin name. So the plugin name is, I go to values, Kontakt 7 for me here because I'm using 7. And the class name, you can find the class name here in the info tab. Default device class name is AU plugin device because I use a audio unit version. So AU plugin device. So plugin name, class name. So whenever you load a plugin named Kontakt 7 and it's a plugin device, the class name is mostly useful for stock plugins because every stock Ableton stock plugins has its own specific class name. So you can have the name of the plugin changing because you can rename a stock device. For example, like if I bring a compressor, I can rename it to my compressor for kick, and you can change the name. You cannot change the name of plugin. It will always be Kontakt. So this is why the class of the device is important for stock devices. If I launch the script again, template, we can see, despite having another name, could be anything, it still loads the correct UI, because it's depending on the device class name. Here the class name is compressor2. It's not a plugin device or a AU plugin device. It's compressor2. So we know which device it is, which plugin. And the name can be something completely different. But for other plugins, you cannot change the name. So the name will always be Kontakt and class name AU plugin device. So we can see here that it's working, because the skin group loaded is NI drums. We can put here a label or text. Text 50. NI drums. Here, launch again. And it's loading the right UI, as you can see here. Because the name of the plugin is Kontakt 7 and it's a plugin device. But the problem here we have is that every time we load the Kontakt, if I make another track, a MIDI track, I load Kontakt again. The plugin is Kontakt, so it will load the same UI. But if you load another library inside, how to tell? So that's why I've added this. This is a parent name, so we can tell the template to load specific UI for specific libraries. Let's say we put NI drums inside the parent name field here. Then, if I launch the template again, we will see it's no longer working, because it's searching for the parent name to be NI drums. And so in this case, it's not. It's not because the plugin is at the first level, so the parent name is the track name, and the track name is 1 Kontakt 7. It's not NY drums. If we change this, the name of the track, to this, I'm gonna change the track. Yes, sorry for that. Oh, maybe I made a mistake somewhere. The I is a lowercase here. Okay. So now we have the correct UI loaded here, and the default one here. That's how you can set up UI for specific libraries. And the parent name is either the track name, or what if you have, for example, let's go back to this, and then group. If we have an instrument track here with several sounds loaded. Duplicate. We have 2 Kontakt instances here. And here is a plugin, and the parent name will be the chain name, the thing just above in the hierarchy. It is a chain name. It's not the rack name, but the chain name. So in our template here, you can see we have our 2 chain here. If we go inside, it's loading the generic UI. If I change the name of the chain to NI drums here, go back here, you can see it is loading our custom UI, and not for the second chain, because the parent name is not NI drums. So let's go back here to a simple configuration. Okay, NI drums. Now we're back. We have to load it. So we are back to this. Okay. So now, how does it work? There are several ways to program this, but I'm gonna go through the simplest one. Is to use so midi commands with control changes. The app is set up to listen to channel number 7 for device controls. Channel 7 with control change from 0 to 120. So it's really easy to do that now. You just have to, let's delete this text. You just have to create your controls. So let's say we make a fader. Let's make it more like this. Outline, no outline. Then we go to MIDI channel 7, controller constant. And here, if we keep 0, we'll see what happens. So I have 0 here. And we can see that when I move this, it's sending the control number 0. It turns on and off the device. That's because when we look at the list of parameters here, controller number 0 is device on. But in our plugin here, automation window, it says parameter 0 kick volume. Yeah. So why? In fact, it's just offset by 1 from what we see here. So parameter 0, when you see 0 here, it's in fact parameter 1 here inside Ableton, because 0 is device on off, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and goes on, as you can see here. Parameter kick volume is parameter number 1, not 0. So what you have to do is offset by 1 every parameters, or just look at the list you have inside TouchOSC. So controller 1, again, and now we are controlling the kick volume. Yeah, sorry, I can't have the display the UI because every time I go outside, I should have to upload to the iPad to control and see this. But we can see this in the parameter window here. Then we just have to make the UI, the mixer UI, inside this custom device UI. So let's make a full channel strip. Why not? So volume. I'm gonna make radio. This pan. And the pan is centered. Channel is 7. And I think number is 2. You can verify that. Yes, pan is 2. As you can see here, it displays a value. It should be in dB, but oh no, dB for the volume, and left right for the pan. But the library is not coded well, I think, because it's an Ableton problem. Because you can, to display they call it the display value. We can add a label and parameter name and display value in here by just creating controls labels. Let's make it now label and color transparent. Make it line. And then control name, param label number 1. And if you name the label like this, you will get the parameter name automatically. Kick volume. If you make another label, put this here. If you set the name to this label to param display, display value 1, you should get the display value sent by Ableton. But in this case, you can see it's just value from 0 to 1. That's maybe a bug, I don't know, because here you can see it in decibel, and we should get decibel here, but we do not. If we compare to, for example, a basic device like plugins, Apple, graphic EQ, can see we have all the parameters here already assigned. Inside TouchOSC we have the generic, and the display value is in decibel. But for some reason not in Kontakt for this particular patch. We can do the same for the pan here. Let's go out and let's copy those two labels here. The pan is number 2, I guess. Yes. So label 2, display value 2. And it gets the name automatically and the value. So now we just have to copy all this. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna stop at 4, and then change the value for everything. So kick, you can look there if you want. Snare is 6. Six, 11, 16. So 6, 11, 16, 7, 12, 17, 6, 6, 7, 7, 17. Should be okay. Kick, snare, hi-hat, tom. Okay. Snare volume, it's okay. Snare pan, hi-hat volume, hi-hat pan, all good. Tom 1, tom 1. So we have a beginning of our custom mixer for native instruments drums. And what is nice, for example, for this kind of libraries, you have the 50s drummer, 60s drummer, 70s, 80s. They are all programmed like the same a little bit. If I unload this and go to the 60s drummer kit full, you can see it's the same arrangement of parameters. So we could use the same UI for several libraries, and maybe for the Kontakt Play series, I think they are similar in automations. So this also works for have the room mic. Okay, you get the idea. So it's working for our native instrument drums library. Okay. So what if I load another library? We have drums here. Let's say we want the violin or strings. Let's go to Stradivari Violin Multimic. Let's load this. Let's look at the automation. We can see there is only 8 parameters here already assigned. So what do we have in TouchOSC now? It's loading the default one because the name of the track is Kontakt 7. We still have our drums UI here. So we're gonna copy to make another one because it's not gonna be exactly the same. So copy this one, move it up, change the name. Stradivari. Yes. What do we want as parent name? We just put Stradivari here. Plugin name is still Kontakt 7. Class name is the same. So if we launch this, go back here and then rename the track. Reload the plugin. And we have our Stradivari UI now, as we can see here. Okay. We can see because the parameters are automatically pulled from Ableton, the name has changed. It's not kick volume now, it's expression, and volume close already for parameter number 1 and 6, and we can verify that with the offset. 1 is expression, and 5 plus 1, 6 is volume close. So yeah, we just have to change the control change number to map to this particular library. Expression is already done. Vibrato style, intensity, rate. We're not going to do all this. Just example. We have volume close. Let's add mid and 4, just for the volume, the mixer part of the plugin. So this will be 6, 7, and 8. This is already done. This will be 7. 7, 7, 7. 8, 8, and 8. Yeah, we're gonna delete those. And launch. Now we have the names. We'll close, mid, 4. And if we switch to our drums, yeah, we go back to our drums UI. So, and now this is host automation. But and now, what if you want to add key switches? We see we have 4 key switches here. We could add more, but let's not do that for now. And just having those 4 key switches in our UI. Well, key switches are just regular, not on off. So it's as simple as adding MIDI buttons. So let's make a button here. Going to MIDI instead of control change, not on. Note constant. We can see C1. C1 is not number 36. You can look it up online. Maybe you have to offset by 1 octave. So 36. C1, D1, C, D, E, F. So C, D, E, F. 36, 38, 40, and 41. This is, and there, as it's not mapped with a remote script, it's just a regular MIDI message. So you can choose whatever channel you want to use. And for it to work, you have to, of course, enable record or set it to input monitoring. Let's try that. Okay, that's key switches. So you can have your key switches automatically show in on your iPad or tablet, and loaded automatically depending on the library name. So I guess that's it. It should be long enough. I may do more examples for more libraries and explain later how to do it with high definition parameters. But MIDI is convenient. It works for now from 0 to 120 parameters. So I guess it's okay for now. Okay. Thanks for watching, and hope it has been useful for you. It will be useful for you. And see you next time. Bye.